Right, that's all to come. Now to our game of the day. After their poor start to the season, how Tottenham needed a win over Arsenal. History was against them. The Gunners were 18 unbeaten against their bitter rivals and started the day second in the table. Well, Tottenham made one change to the team that shared 6 goals with Fulham. Michael Dawson replaced Ricardo Rocha, who dropped to the bench. Also on the bench was Aaron Lennon, who'd recovered from knee surgery, and Darren Bent, who'd missed the last 2 games with a thigh injury. Arsene Wenger made 2 changes to the team that beat Portsmouth. Philippe Senderos was suspended, replaced by Bakary Sagna. Gilberto moved into central defence, with Abu Diaby coming into midfield at the expense of Thomas Rosicky. Lehmann, Aboué and Gallas still ruled out. Commentary on a wonderful game from Brian Marwood and Rob Palmer.
Arsene Wenger in the sunshine, Martin Jol in the shadows. And so kicks off the 141st League derby between these 2 clubs. Tottenham seeking their first victory over their big rivals of the century. 18 games in all competitions since Tottenham beat Arsenal. And as you can see, it's a real up-and-at-'em approach from Martin Jol's side today.
Well, it's that type of pressure that you feel Spurs need to put on Arsenal in this early stages. I think they're certainly going to be supported and helped by the fans, and they need to build on that, these Tottenham players.
They say they're behind the manager. Well, they could do his job prospects an awful lot of good if they could beat Arsenal today. Every single Arsenal player protecting the goal. Little flick on at the near post. Here is Gleb, hardly anybody ahead of him to aim for. Nicely intercepted by Huddleston. Berbatov was offside, but good advantage play by Mark Clattenburg. There is Huddleston, a young man, but an absolute monster in that centre of midfield. Jol will be asking young players to do the jobs of senior stars today. Almost a full-strength Tottenham team. 2 considerations for Martin Jol. Just made the one change from the team that was doing well against Fulham until they imploded and drew 3-3. Look at this for an excellent Arsenal run. It could go anywhere, and to safety from Kabul.
Well, Geklici really has started the season well, and just another example of what the promising talent he is, the way he surged down that left-hand side. It's a fabulous pass from Fabregas that got him into a position, but he had an awful lot still to do. Both Chimbonda and Malbranc had a real problem dealing with him.
There is Sagna, who returns to the side after a couple of games out. Gleb, Flamini. Fabregas fancies his chances from distance. Comes to Adebayor! Good save from England's number 1, Paul Robinson.
Oh, it's almost quite fortunate that how the ball cannoned to Adebayor. The initial strike from Fabregas, I don't think would have troubled Paul Robinson, but it hit Michael Dawson. Sat up very, very kindly, and the England number 1 has to make a very athletic save to his right-hand side.
Touch of the Thierry Henry's about that volley, wasn't there? Flamini, the corner taker. Free header for Genus. Flamini in again. There was a raised foot there, and the referee clamps down on it. Adebayor has a good record against Tottenham. He scored 3 goals in the 3 matches he played last season in League and League Cup.
It's probably one of those, Rob, that when it left his foot, I think he fancied that might just be nestling into the back of Paul Robinson's net, but it wasn't to be. Both sides have started well. There's always prone to a little bit nervousness and an edgy play in games like this, but both sets of players have got the ball down, they've passed it well. Good pace and tempo to the game.
Maybe a London derby, but they've come from far and wide to play today. Adebayor sharing a joke with the Tottenham fans, so at least it was on his part. Gilberto played for Brazil against the United States and Mexico. He's flown across the world to play today.
In some respects, it might not do him too much harm playing as a centre-back, because in midfield he probably have an awful lot more running to do, but no doubt slightly jet-lagged with the travels that he's had to go through this week. But I suppose you can say that about a lot of these players that are playing today.
There's Van Persie. Clichy starting almost as a left winger. Good balance by Cabot. Behind you was the cry from the Tottenham fans, not heard by Keane there. He's having a rant at Gareth Bale, but I don't think Bale could be heard amongst the 40,000 or so shouting souls.
I think Spurs are going to need the best of Robbie Keane today. He has that knack of being able to drop into areas which is very difficult to pick up, and he can give that sprightly, energetic display that we know he's capable of. Then that might certainly help Spurs' chances of getting a result here. I have to say Arsenal are passing the ball around very well. Movement's good, causing Spurs one or two problems already.
Diaby wearing number 2, but playing in a slightly defensive midfield role today, keeping things tight. There is Keane, backing into the defender, making space for Berbatov. Huddleston seeking Gareth Bale, the youngster making his North London derby debut.
Well, he's very confident in his side, isn't he, Arsene Wenger? He knows it. He's got a lot of good players out there in front of him, prepared to get the ball down and play and pass and move, create chances. Look at their record so far. It's pretty impressive. And also, when you look at their record generally against Spurs, they'll come into this game with an awful lot of confidence.
Tottenham just one win so far this season against struggling Derby County. And Martin Jol was underlining that at the same point last season they had the same record. Berbatov coming back from an offside position there, but very relaxed air about Arsenal.
Well, there is, and that comes about through results and performances. They just want to try and take the sting out of this game. I think that the North London derby, the pace is always quite intense early on, and they'll know that Spurs have got 1 or 2 points to prove.
Huddleston, who's all fired up from the start, thinking about the shot. That's what the fans want. Tries to be too intricate. Passes on the responsibility, but the good block by Clichy.
Well, I think Tom Huddleston will be a bit annoyed with himself, because he did open up for him. He didn't elect to shoot when maybe he should have done.
Chimbonda teases one up. Berbatov gets the head up. Just too much of a crowd to work his way through.
Well, it's a good look hard against Kolo Touré. Touré just remonstrating with 1 or 2 of his fellow defenders. Probably felt that the ball in was a little bit too comfortable by Chimbonda on that right-hand side. And Berbatov hasn't really hit the sort of high notes that we saw from him last season.
Dawson maybe a little ring rusty, his first start of the season. So I'll take the free kick quickly as Tottenham trying to reorganise. Fabregas to Hleb. Touré. Slightly overhit by Gilberto. It's a tightly packed pitch. They were watering it before the game. The ball will zip around.
Well, Sagna did brilliantly there. I mean, it was a difficult ball to deal with. Gilberto pinged it around about sort of 25 yards cross field. He just had to work hard initially to keep it in play, and then he does superbly well. Try to take the ball past YP Lee.
Gilberto. Clichy. Closed down by fellow countryman Malbranc. Van Persie. Hleb muscled off the ball by Chimbonda. Robinson, who made that important early save. Adebayor, lovely touch. Oh, the referee decided that was worthy of a free kick.
Well, Jennison Huddleston at the moment, Rob, are having to make a lot of important challenges in the middle of the park, as you would expect. Arsenal having plenty of possession in that area of the field, tends to flow from the feet of Cesc Fabregas. No one ever looks flustered in this Arsenal side. They're very patient with their passing.
Genius. Chimbonda. Bronk. Well, Tottenham are not allowing any 50-50 or even 40-60 against balls to go missing. Challenging, come out with a certain steel about them today. Bronk. Chimbonda. A close call.
And Arsenal back four held a very good line. Berbatov was just pointing into that far left-hand corner. He wanted the ball to be played from Chimbonda.
Some things never change. The names may.
Yeah.
But Arsenal always with that excellent offside trap. Touré. A bit of workspace. Fabregas. Always finds space. Kleb. Adebayor. Little trick. He's already had one shot from distance. Dawson intercepts. Touré. Arsenal turning on the heat now. And Percy. Oof. Dawson really is fired up. He's clattered a few players in the opening 10 minutes or so of this game.
No, it's just a nice fluency about Arsenal, the way that they're popping passes around, good movement. And I think that this is a problem that Spurs have because of that mobility. You know, I think that it's fine, you've got sort of 4-4-2, but Arsenal don't really play that way. There's the likes of Kleb and Diaby will come in field around about 10-15 yards. The front two will exchange in terms of their positions. You know, they'll have players breaking free from the back. We've already seen it from Clichy down that left-hand side. So everywhere you look, Arsenal seem to have some good movement going on.
Massive kick from Robinson. Well, it's a bounce, but Almunia skips off his line confidently.
I think Robbie Keane might just have taken an early gamble on that one.
Almunia keeps his place. Lehmann is not ready to return yet. It will be a bit of a tough call for Arsene Wenger when the German international is ready.
It certainly feels as if he's in good shape in terms of goalkeepers, Arsene Wenger. Just speaking to him beforehand, he was praising the young Polish keeper, Fabianski, who's on the bench today.
We had a chat in the tunnel beforehand. He was most relaxed, Arsene, wasn't he? He said he fancied a game.
Well, it's just a reflection of his side, isn't it? I mean, I think everything that Arsene does, you know, he never seems to get flustered that often.
Now the contract is signed and all the politics has left his press conferences. He said he can concentrate on footballing matters, in contrast to the man in the opposite dugout today, who's riddled with politics at the moment. This is Lee. Kabul. A wasteful pass.
Actually interesting when you look at down on the field. I mean, Martin Jol has invested in a lot of young players, the likes of Bale and Lennon and Kabul and Huddleston. And then actually when you look at the Arsenal squad, there's a lot of youth there as well. So I'm sure that we'll see a lot of these players play a fair number of North London derbies over the next few years.
Bale to Berbatov. Drawing Gilberto. It was a rather rash tackle from the Brazilian in a foolish part of the pitch.
Oh, very clumsy, isn't it? I mean, it's really just set up nicely. We've got the likes of Gareth Bale, who'll probably fancy his chances from this distance. It's a sloppy tackle from Gilberto. But I'm sure the likes of Kabul and Bale are hovering around this. Almunia will need to concentrate very carefully, get his wall in the right position.
It could be the left foot of the teenager, or it could be a curling right footer from Kabul.
I'm not sure whether Kabul will look to place it. He looks to me as if the way he wants to approach it, he's just going to blast it.
It's Bale. It's a beauty. 18 years of age and a goal of his career.
Well, it's interesting because he hasn't seen much of the ball, Gareth Bale, but he is a superb technician when it comes to free kicks, and we've just seen another example of that. I must admit, the goalkeeper, for me, was talking to his wall afterwards. I think he probably feels Alexander Kleb could have done a lot more than what he did there to prevent that ball sliding in on that right-hand post. But let's take nothing away from the strike from Gareth Bale. It had good pace, it had terrific direction. The goalkeeper might be furious with Kleb, but he can do nothing whatsoever to keep that ball out. What a fantastic start in terms of his home debut. And that's what, 2 goals in 2 games for him?
One against Fulham in one London derby, but this is the London derby, the game to score a goal in, the game to enhance what is already a rich reputation. Adebayor! Robinson, almost immediately Arsenal are back.
Well, that's twice Paul Robinson's made fantastic saves against Adebayor, and they went to sleep here, Spurs. They weren't really watching for the Arsenal front man, just drifting into a situation where he caught it very well, but it was straight at the goalkeeper.
It was red hot at kickoff time. It's white hot at White Hart Lane now. Robinson gets a punch to the ball under pressure from his own defender. Toure. Clichy. They're raising the roof here. Now time for the heartbeat to just settle a little bit.
Well, it came around through a poor challenge from Gilberto on the edge of the box that allowed Spurs that free kick opportunity. But Gareth Bale, with no real surprise. I mean, he was doing it on a regular basis for his previous club, Southampton. Well, talk about endear yourself to your new fans and certainly to your new manager. You know, he's needed some respite, Martin Jol, in recent weeks, been under incredible pressure. He's dealt with it with a great amount of dignity, and it certainly helps when you get that sort of start.
We'll credit Paul Robinson as well. Bale may get the headlines, but the England goalkeeper has been scrutinised for the past couple of weeks, has made 2 top draw saves. Well, Tottenham will be told to keep things disciplined, as Keane argues that he wasn't offside with Mr. Massey on the far touchline.
I actually think he was. I think it was Berbatov that actually stayed onside, but Trevor Massey waited a long time before he put his flag up, before realising which of the strikers was going to end up with the ball. But this is a fantastic strike from Bale. Well, Almunia, I said before Bale struck it, Rob, he really needed to work hard in terms of his concentration levels and where he got the wall.
There's a slip from Huddleston, losing his concentration. Fabregas. Toure. Kleb. Adebayor. There's a cry of handball. The referee couldn't have been closer. Kleb. Van Persie. Around the back, but the defending of Chimbonda was good.
Oh, good football again, just working Spurs. Arsenal moving the ball around from right to left, trying to stretch the Spurs defence.
The football is good. Is there going to be an end product, mate? Malbranc wins the ball, and the goal kick as well.
Well, they're going to need plenty of that, especially the 2 wide players, Malbranc and Bale, helping out in front of the 2 fullbacks. Just not the start that Arsene Wenger wanted, but he knows he's got a lot of belief in his side. They're capable of producing good football, they're capable of scoring goals, and they're certainly still capable of winning this football match.
Well, the Tottenham fans know all about these statistics. 18 games against their bitter rivals without success. They will know as well that they've taken the lead in 6 of the last 9 games against Arsenal and failed to keep it, and failed to win.
I actually think Robbie Keane is unfortunate there. Not sure whether Mark Plattenberg spotted the challenge from Gilberto into the back of Robbie Keane.
Touré. Kleb. Little too fine. This is Kabul. Now Berbatov. Bale, the hero. Gilberto, he's now regretting that rather rash tackle on Berbatov that led for the free kick.
Well, I said it was clumsy. It was also a tired challenge, so whether what he's been through over the last 10 days may well have had an impact on his thinking there, the way that he brought down Berbatov.
Kabul looking for Berbatov, who has that clever way of backing into defenders, eating their oxygen, so to speak. Will this be the day that Tottenham finally do it? They've been close in recent years. 6 of the last 7 games at White Hart Lane. They've been held to a draw. The last win in the days of George Graham when he was Tottenham manager back in 1999. Arsene Wenger's lost just 1 of 25 games against Tottenham Hotspur. Adebayor. Almost a quarter of the game gone, Arsenal having to regain their composure. Diaby. Gilberto. Senya's free, but with no options, and the ball had gone out of play.
Well, it's not quite happening for Gilberto at the moment. He's normally such a steady player. Great influence on everybody around him, but 1 or 2 misplaced passes, 1 or 2 indifferent challenges. Spurs are working hard at the moment. Got a great boost from that goal, and it's been difficult times for everybody around White Hart Lane. And the chairman sat alongside the director of football here.
Good tackle by Huddleston. Chimbonda's rather sold himself there, leaving space for Adebayor. Offside. Too good to be true for Clichy. Says something about the Arsenal approach when the left back is offside.
Well, it's a number of times that he's got into the final third, and he really does give Arsenal something different on that side of the field. I don't think they're going to get it naturally from Diaby because he's not that type of player. I think the whole idea of Diaby playing on that side of the field, Rob, is that when he does tuck in, it does allow Clichy to get forward.
Berbatov. And Gilberto. He's looking a little weary after that long journey back from the American continent.
That's understandable. I mean, I heard quotes from 1 or 2 managers this week saying that, you know, looking at perhaps playing the Premier League games on a Sunday rather than a Saturday after they return from international duty. And I actually don't think that's a bad idea, you know. Give them an extra day in terms of travelling and just regain their composure and their thoughts and concentrate towards the next match. And it's a very important game, the games following international matches.
There is Lee. Huddleston. Seeking and finding Chimbonda. Keane. Chimbonda. Flamini, whose job is to keep that midfield tight today, to maybe sit back as others go on cavalier runs into the Tottenham penalty area. Fabregas. Great run from the Spaniard. Adebayor right in his path. Oh, cuts it back to Kleb! And Robinson to the rescue again. Well, that's a hat-trick of saves that Robinson has made.
Well, that really was a superb chance carved out by the prompting of Cesc Fabregas from midfield. Brilliant play, He got the ball on the edge of his own box, and then it really did get forward with great pace, great accuracy, culminating in a strike from Kleb. I think he should have done better. I think it's a reasonably comfortable one from Robinson to make, but once again, the Spurs keeper has come out the master of those situations. That's 3 occasions now where he's had to pull off very, very smart saves.
Maybe Martin Jol will owe Steve McLaren a favour. McLaren stuck with Robinson in the England team, buoyed his confidence, and boy, has it shown today.
Well, I think it's always important to support your players when they're having difficult times, and Paul Robinson needed that support. I think he's come through with flying colours. He made a couple of decent saves against Russia during the week, and now today he has been outstanding.
Sanya has 2 to beat. Lee sticking to his task.
Well, Arsenal's still found time to create a lot of chances of their own, even though they find themselves 1-0 down. And that's what I talked about earlier on. That's why the manager will have great belief that his group of players can etch their way back into this football match.
There's a slight suggestion that Tottenham have a soft centre. Can they harden things up? Robinson leaves it to his defenders. It was Huddleston who got the header there. Adebayor back in there, pinballing around their penalty area. Genius misses his tackle. Chimbonda makes a good interception, and Tottenham find a neat escape route. Chimbonda, half-beat Clichy, inspired.
I think Martin Jol will be too impressed. His centre-back, Yunus Kabul, has just steamed forward into a right wing position.
Now Lee. Overhit for Bale.
Well, that's a poor return because he had a lot of bodies forward, Spurs there. Lee just acknowledging that's a poor pass on his part, because they just need a bit of composure and accuracy. But Kleb was the latest player that has been kept out by Paul Robinson. A wonderful save again from the England and Spurs keeper.
Keane, clever turn. More Bronk. Genius. Keane gets it. Oh, it almost came to Berbatov, but it was Flamini doing a good mopping up job.
Well, both him and Fabregas have had to make a few of those challenges. Fabregas has been magnificent so
Here he goes again, threaded perfectly to Adebayor, and Robinson has to be brave. Always going to be the goalkeeper's ball.
Well, it just came off the foot of Kabul. It just changed the direction of the ball that allowed Paul Robinson a little sniff of getting at the feet of Adebayor. But there's been enough warnings, hasn't there, for Spurs to know that they can't afford to lapse in concentration.
Huddleston. Kabul. Huddleston to Berbatov.
Well, certainly lacking concentration on behalf of Berbatov. You can see right across the line there. He's been offside. I think Mark Kattenberg's just saying that's your last chance.
Final warning.
Yeah, not going to give you any more. That's sensible refereeing. It's better to see them doing that than just brandishing yellow cards around.
Oh, no call there. Genius. Berbatov, can he tee it up for Keane? Not quite good enough. Here's Bale, we know what he can do. Could have gone anywhere. There's slight panic from the Arsenal defence there. The big bit of Toure stuck out. He'll settle for conceding just a corner.
Well, it's certainly been interesting at both ends of the field. Spurs probably haven't created as many chances as Arsenal have, but they still look very threatening when they get forward, and one or two players here will fancy their chances if the ball in from Bale is accurate.
A lot of movement in the area. The ball got there. There was a cry of handball from the die-hard Tottenham fans, not really backed up by the players.
I have to say it was a very clever block from Chimbonda that very nearly bought Kabul a bit of space.
Lee. Genius. Most of the defenders are still in attack. One of those is Chimbonda. Now it's a long haul back for Tottenham Hotspur. Martin Jol on the touchline, telling his players to get back and get back quick. Flamini, oh, solid tackle from Dawson.
Well, it's another fantastic run again from Clichy. He's picked that ball up, got it in his own defensive third from his goalkeeper, and he's just bombed forward on that left-hand side. And that's a real problem for Spurs at the moment, dealing with the surges that he's looking to do.
Sanya. Kleb. Captain Toure continues his run. Can it be found by Diaby? Drops the shoulder. Maybe the best thing to do is shoot from distance. All other avenues were closed.
Well, that's a poor return, isn't it? Again, promising. We've seen Clichy get forward. We've just seen Toure bomb forward there. So Arsenal have got plenty of confidence, but this is another important save. But just have a look there. Just diverts off the body of Kabul, which gives Paul Robinson an opportunity. And at the moment, everything's going the way of the Spurs goalkeeper.
What chance he keeps a clean sheet? He's only had 3 in the last 33 league matches for Tottenham Hotspur. Chimbonda, more Bronk. Time for Tottenham to play keep ball. Doesn't last very long. Bayor. Dawson has done well, hardly put a foot wrong, the Spurs centre-half. Huddleston to Genus. Of course, nicely for Keane. Berbatov on the blind side of the Arsenal defence. Doesn't have a lot, doesn't have to go backwards to find a teammate. Does so in Chimbonda. Not too many options. Keane. Dances with Clichy, he steps on his toes. Clichy to Fabregas. Huddleston has had a great game tightening things up in midfield. This is Dawson. Bale. There's a slightly delayed flag to see what happened. The referee ignores the offside and asks Arsenal to carry on. Fabregas. Bayor, oh, brilliantly takes that out of the air. Robinson decides he can't pick it up. It came from interception of Chimbonda.
Well, it's just such a fascinating game, Rob, isn't it? You know, both sides playing some super football, good movement, you know, chances at either end.
Kleb, great turn. Red alert. Kleb, or draws it back with a clever ball. How unlucky was that for Arsenal?
Well, I don't think Martin Jol will be pleased when he sees his centre-half Kabul just turn his back on Kleb as he danced into the box.
No time for Diaby to dwell there as Arsenal keep up the pressure. At the moment, Tottenham are like a cat of 9 lives. I think they've lost about 4 or 5 of them at the moment.
Well, they're hanging on a wee bit, aren't they?
Clichy. Bayor. Genus can't get it away. Diaby would like another dabble. Fabregas. This time it's blocked. Robinson's going to have to be quick and brave, and he is both.
Well, it's more luck than design at the moment that Spurs are managing to keep Arsenal out. And of course got that goal that they can hang on to, that'll give them some confidence and some belief, but...
Berbatov magnificently taken out of the air. Oh, sold Genus a little bit short. He's willing to continue chasing and continue chasing. Little drop at the shoulder for the Brazilian Gilberto, and he gets Arsenal out of trouble. Now Fabregas. Arsenal sticking to plan A of neat, tight passing.
Well, they won't get frustrated, Robin. They won't just throw out their game plan, which is just to keep the ball, pass and move and create chances. They've done plenty of that.
Huddleston. Kabul. Huddleston. Now Bale. Bale looking for Keane at the far post. Clichy backpedaled well. Oh, Chimbonda was the more committed player to getting that loose ball. Gilberto away. Well, Arsenal are a club who pride themselves on their defensive meanness, but that's not exactly been shown today.
Well, Diaby's a lucky boy, really, because the challenge against Chimbonda had very nearly cost his side.
The first yellow card of the afternoon is shown to Jermaine Ginas for an untidy tackle.
Well, it's his second one. That's what the referee is saying to both the player and his manager. So I think that he's communicating with people, Mark Clattenburg.
Well, Bronk won the ball, and we'll feel there's a bonus of taking out an Arsenal player as well.
Well, Clichy's got a problem, I think, over on that left-hand side. I think maybe Brown just caught his ankle, but he went down a lot of pain. Almost just the bottom of his calf, the top of his Achilles tendon, but he did very well there, Malbrandt. You can see there with a follow-through, he just catches him, and then as he's getting up, he catches him again, and that was a really awkward challenge.
Well, Diaby has time to ponder.
Well, it's brilliant,
a great moment for an equaliser.
Well, it's terrific play from Kleb. He really did put this chance on a plate. I'm not sure whether it was even just a slight touch from Paul Robinson, but he ought to have scored. Rattles the crossbar, another chance goes begging for Arsenal. And Spurs can probably count themselves quite fortunate that they still find themselves ahead in this game. But Arsene Wenger knows that Spurs have got a lot of talented players of their own. And if they get chances at that end of the field, as we've seen with Gareth Bale, they do have the qualities to make Arsenal pay.
Well, thankfully, Clichy is made of strong stuff, and he'll hobble back on in the next opportune moments. Bale. Kabul. Huddleston. Too good to be true. Keane was offside, and Mark Clattenburg held his whistle and decided better blow it quickly before Tottenham get a chance.
He's been very busy, hasn't he? Mr. Massey over on that far side.
Sanya to Kleb. Gilberto. Clichy, who's recovered from that heavy challenge of a moment ago. Fabregas. Flamini. Kleb. Fabregas. Adebayor. Arsenal quickening the pace. Sanya. A little too obvious, and Kabul's there.
Get a lot of players behind the ball, aren't they, Spurs? I think they're determined to hang on to this one-goal lead. Not long before half-time, Arsenal have had bags of possession without turning that possession into goals.
Bale to Huddleston. The young Welshman. Back to the captain of the French under-21 team. Kabul. Lee. Made a great run, and Flamini came across and got his body in the way. Comes to Malbrandt. Gilberto half blocks. Chimbonda. Ginas. Kabul to Lee.
Well, the Spurs fans are urging their team to get it forward, but I think they're doing the right thing at the moment, Rob, and that's just keeping possession. This is a crucial period of the game.
Keane. Bale. Lee. Ginas. Great run from Berbatov right across the face of the Arsenal defence. Teamed up for Keane as he got the Well, he would have needed gymnastics to actually get a telling touch on it.
I think he was just put off by the presence of Clichy. He drifted into a wonderful position, Robbie Keane, and his strike partner found him with great accuracy here. And this is better from Spurs. Very neat build-up play. You can see there that Clichy just enough of a presence to just put off Robbie Keane.
Well, had he progressed, the referee would have disallowed for handball. Berbatov is not offside here. Waits for the cavalry to arrive. They're there now, if he can find them. It's Pound Sanya. The goalkeeper's come a long way, and the young defender did well to recover.
Well, he did brilliantly, didn't he, Sanya? Because I must admit, I feared the worst when I saw Almunia come an awful long way from his line, but Sanya was quick enough to turn and track Berbatov.
Second goal really would send this place into raptures. Everybody back is the call from Arsene Wenger. And stay there is the reminder. Another corner.
Well, the corners haven't been great, I have to say, from Spurs, especially over on this left-hand side.
And Dawson and Huddleston in there. Just want to Tottenham have the height advantage still for the head of Dawson.
He actually got himself into a good position, Michael Dawson, that near post, and no one had really tracked his run.
Lee stopped in his tracks. Well, the Arsenal trying to overplay the football in defence. Huddleston took 3 Arsenal players out there. Comes to Malbronk. Anywhere will do.
Well,
and Arsenal have another problem. Sanya's down.
It's challenges like that, Rob, around the pitch that actually has a big impact on your own players and the players of the opposition. And Tom Huddleston stood firm because he's got 3 Arsenal players looking to put him under pressure to try and win that header. But I tell you what, he stood very, very firm. And as you've rightly said, he's taken a few out in the process.
And the one should be playing for the England Rugby Union team, never mind the under-21 team at football.
Well, he's a wonderfully promising young player, Tom Huddleston. I've seen him for a lot of years now, and he's emerging, but this was the last chance that very nearly came to the feet of Robbie Keane. He made a terrific run. Very nearly found from the ball from Berbatov.
Gary Lewin, the physio of Arsenal, has probably been the most active member of staff so far today. Several bumps and bruises and clashes of heads. To the final 5 minutes of a feisty first half. Huddleston. Try of handball, Diaby. Fabregas beaten to it by Genus. He and Huddleston have worked tremendously in the centre of midfield to try and blot out Fabregas, his midfield genius.
I think there's just been lots of interesting battles all over the field, Rob. I think that you look at the 2 centre-backs of Spurs against the likes of Adebayor and Van Persie. You mentioned the battle in central midfield. I think that Berbatov and Keane against Touré and Gilberto.
Huddleston throwing his muscle around again. He's fired up, the boy, today. Forget, given his frame and the amount of time he's been around. He's still only 20 years of age. Made his debut as a raw 16-year-old. His debut at Derby County.
I think he's a better player when he is putting himself about. I think one of the criticisms that people have about Tom Huddleston is he can be very languid and laid back, and I think today we've seen the other side of him. He's been everywhere. He's been prompting attacks. He's been winning challenges. He's covered a lot of areas of the field.
Flamini. Kleb. Clichy makes a movement down the left-hand side. Dawson, want to do better than that to beat Dawson. Kleb. Sanya. Adebayor's drifted to the wing. A bit of interchanging of positions from Arsene Wenger, trying to mix things up at the moment, make Tottenham think. Chimbonda. Has a look, what can he see? Not a great deal ahead of him. He doesn't really want to go backwards either. So does a 360-degree turn. And makes great yardage down that right touchline and wins a free kick, which will buy some valuable time.
That's terrific play from Chimbonda. Not like the way, though, that he's remonstrating with the referee, wanting players to be booked, and I think he's going to get booked for remonstrating about players being booked. So well, that's the only way to stop it, and I do applaud referees if they're going to do that, because you know it's a horrible part of our game, and it's crept in more and more over the last few years. So I think referees need to make those decisions, and certainly clearly showed to players that they're not prepared to tolerate that. That's a bad
2
challenge.
minutes of first half stoppage time. Sorry, Brian.
That's a poor challenge, and I think Chimbonda should let the referee deal with these things.
Clichy. Van Persie, he's had a quiet game, hardly been mentioned, hardly featured. Lee. Huddleston. Robinson. Berbatov will button his lip, given the fact his teammate's just been booked for complaining. The last flourish of the first half for Arsenal. They've had their chances, plenty of them haven't been taken. Kleb takes an all-comers. Gareth Bale has been the first half hero with scoring the goal, but Paul Robinson has made at least a hat-trick of top saves. Almost got an assist then, that was close.
What a kick that was. And he spotted Robbie Keane. Well, this is the one that has caused Mark Clattenburg to show Pascal Chimbonda a yellow card. Been an interesting week, hasn't it, for the Spurs fullback?
Certainly has. It's been a really interesting opening 45 minutes at White Hart Lane.
This huge 22-inch widescreen TFT by Acer looks great in any room. Just $179.
That's good.
Ideal for gaming or watching films from almost any angle.
£70 off.
We'll have one.
And what software have you got to protect my PC?
Symantec Norton Internet Security 2007 will protect it from viruses and identity theft. $24.99.
Not much for peace of mind.
No, you can't put a price on that.
Well, you can. $24.99.
Internet prices to take home today. PC World. The best of both worlds.
And now for the entertainment news.
Buy Disney's Meet the Robinsons on DVD and get a free Meet the Robinsons book.
Prepare to be amazed!
Ooh, it's shiny.
Exceptional!
Buy Disney's Meet the Robinsons on DVD for $14.97. More great news from Woolworths.
From the guys who brought you the 40-year-old virgin, 3 friends have one chance to get it right.
Those are too tight. Looks like a bunch of people crammed into a van.
Super bad.
Great Coke taste, 0 sugar. Coke Zero.
Experience the power of stealth. Gillette Fusion Power Stealth. Fusion Power is so advanced, and you barely feel the blades. Turn it on. Soothing micropulses help you reduce friction and increase razor glide. Feel the difference for yourself. The comfort of 5 blades plus the precision of 1. Gillette Fusion Power Stealth.
At ECK, the scientists are conducting undercover research to see how the guinea pigs are coping with their modern, busy lifestyles.
Nowadays, I'm too busy to think about credit cards. I just want a card I can stick with.
So they listened to the guinea pigs and gave them an ECK card with 0% on balance transfers for up to a year, and then another 0% on balance transfers in 2009 and 2010, so they can stick with 1 credit card and get on with life. Get a card worth sticking with at ECK.com.
さあ挑戦者の番だ。エースのスピードとダイヤモンドの5ヒット。合計で21だ。ウィンドンキー。Let's play.
So Gareth Bale's second goal of the season, giving Tottenham real hope at half-time of a first victory over Arsenal since 1999. And if you thought the first half was good, just wait for the second. A reminder before that of the match choice at 10:15, when you'll be able to see these 7 matches, lots of talking points, lots of action. Warren Barton will be joining me a little bit later on. Right now, though, let's get back to White Hart Lane and rejoin Brian Marwood and Rob Palmer.
Can Tottenham finish the job, though? They've taken the lead against Arsenal on 6 of the last 9 occasions, haven't gone on to win any. We all know it's been 18 games since they've had success. Arsene Wenger's lost only 1 of 25 derbies against them. But Tottenham have shown a certain amount of steel and resolution this afternoon. And for the style and the passing movement of Arsenal, they haven't managed to break through this Tottenham defence yet. Dawson's had a good comeback. Robinson has been solid. And Martin Jol's plan is working just fine. It could kickstart their season, this. An awful long way to go. Remember, last year the game was finally settled in the 90th minute when Tottenham equalised that day. Tom Huddleston giving a little word of warning for jumping in.
Well, you just get the feeling that Arsenal have just picked up where they left off in the first half, Rob. Plenty of passing, good movement.
And Tottenham sticking to throwing bodies in there and being physical. Flamini. Captain Touré. And space in which to operate. Sagna. Touré. Threaded through nicely, Van Persie, but a perfect tackle from Dawson.
Should have taken it earlier. Van Persie been very ineffective in this game. They're going to need him to start performing a little bit better. Arsenal, I think they get back into this football match, but once again, just some of their passing, a real quality.
A lot of toying and teasing, but no end product. And there's a problem as Bale has twisted his ankle in making that challenge from the left foot that scored the only goal of the game.
Well, it was a terrific strike, wasn't it? And I'm sure there'd been a little bit of an inquest in the Arsenal dressing room at half-time in terms of that end of the wall, which is Alexander Kleb. Could he have done better?
Alexander didn't do great. Touré. Here's Berbatov. Huddleston.
Well, just having to get a lot of numbers behind the ball against Spurs. I think that will worry Martin Jol. I think that they need to stay very organised and very committed to the cause, but you don't want to concede this amount of possession to the likes of Arsenal.
Clichy. Flamini. Gilberto, he will shoulder some of the blame for giving the free kick away for that goal, and bad pass there put Arsenal under a bit of pressure. Van Persie. Adebayor has options. One of those is Van Persie. But Cabal does an excellent job in tying things up. Something for Berbatov to chase. Almunia has to come to the extreme of his area and takes the sensible option.
Well, he made a decision very quickly, the Arsenal goalkeeper, to deal with it. Good communication between him and Gael Clichy.
Genus. Huddleston. Gilberto filling in for Senderos at centre-half today. Not the ideal solution for Arsene Wenger.
I just think he's struggled a wee bit. I think the travelling that he's had to endure over the last 10 days or so seems to have just taken its toll on Gilberto. Not as consistent as we've tended to see him in the past.
Arsene Wenger complaining yesterday about the disturbance and interruptions of international week, how his players must refocus. Those words are now ringing true. Genus. There is Gilberto. Chimbonda. He's had an interesting week as well. Gilberto. Fabregas. Van Persie. Sanya overlaps. Puts in a great cross towards Adebayor, but Dawson manfully in the way again.
Brilliant defending from Michael Dawson. Really did read the situation superbly well.
Unrelenting now from Arsenal as they search for the equalizer. Take one or two gambles, leaving themselves maybe a touch short at the back. There's Berbatov. Goalkeeper's come an awful long way. He sold himself. Berbatov can seal it, but he took his time. It was some tackle to stop him from Touré, but he should have been celebrating a goal, surely.
What a challenge. That could have been probably game out of sight for Arsenal if it hadn't been for the skipper coming up with a brilliant tackle. But what was Manuel Almunia doing there? It's about decision-making when you're a goalkeeper, and he very nearly made a horrendous decision that cost his team.
Diaby. Adebayor. Another scare for Arsenal. How will they react? Diaby passes on the responsibility to Hleb. He had a big miss in the first half. Wonder if that was playing on his mind. Some respite for Tottenham as they cross the halfway line. They've had the best chance of the second half.
Well, they have. I mean, Berbatov is a very good technical player. He would have fancied his chances 1v1 against Kolo Touré. Well, it was a fabulous ball from Malbrang. Finds a spot in behind the Arsenal centre-backs, and that's where Almunia very nearly makes a horrendous decision that costs his side. And if it wasn't for the skipper, that would have been 2-0 Spurs.
Morbrock. Puts the cross in. Gilberto's there. Awkward bouncing ball. One back off Clichy by Morbrock. Chimbonda. Clichy jumps in. No place to posture this afternoon, White Hart Lane. Kleb. All about motion for Arsenal. Sanya motors brilliantly and balances well as well. Adebayor! Give him that on a plate. 9 times out of 10 he'll gobble it all up, but he spilled it massively.
Well, he could have had a hat-trick, couldn't he, Adebayor? But brilliant play from Sanya. Over on that right-hand side, he had no right to get himself into this area of the field. And this is a huge let-off again for Spurs, and I've said it time and time again this afternoon, Rob. And they just can't keep living on the edge the way they're doing. They need to defend better than that. They need to stem the flow that Arsenal are pulling towards them. And the fact is they need to keep the ball better than what they are doing. Otherwise, Arsenal are going to continue to enjoy a lion's share of possession, and one of these chances will go their way.
In disciplined excitement. Bale went for the net bulger instead of placing it in what was effectively an open goal. Van Persie. Flamini. Chimbonda. Great concentration from the French defender. Keane will go wide to Bale. Berbatov lurks. Tottenham in no great hurry. They can play Arsenal at their own passing game now. Bale scoops it to the far post. Nobody there. Arsenal uncertain though. Clichy has to chase it to the corner flag. Ball was in play.
Well, it looks as if Arsenal are contemplating making a change, trying to freshen things up in search of this equalizer.
Leb. Fabregas. Adebayor's there again. Will he take it this time? Robinson get a very good clean hand to the ball.
Well, the referee gets himself into a brilliant position. Another goalkeeping decision that could have gone either way. And another one that he makes his mind up very quickly. You can see Adebayor getting in behind Chimbonda. Now the key here is, does Paul Robinson get into the ball? He certainly does.
A flawless performance from Paul Robinson.
Well, decisions that he was making previously, not that long ago, seemed to be going against him, Paul Robinson. But all of a sudden, in the last couple of games, they're all flowing back to him. And one of the reasons why he has become England's #1.
10 minutes gone in the second half. Arsene Wenger decides it's time for change. Thomas Rosicky will come on. Replacing Diaby.
I think it's a smart move, Rob. I think that Rosicky will certainly give them more going forward. I think Diaby probably fresher legs, and Thomas Rosicky, who's been away on international duty. I think that Diaby's presence in midfield to a degree has worked reasonably well, but they now need to go and bring a little bit more quality in the final third, and Rosicky certainly will give them that.
Clem. Tottenham are hungry when it comes to winning those midfield battles at the moment. This is Lee. Sold the referee and the defender, and gets the corner.
Well, again, the referee gets himself into a perfect position to spot whether that ball was out or not. Well, it's got a real ebb and flow to it, hasn't it, this football match? Been fascinating. Even though Spurs find themselves 1-0 up, you still got the feeling there's more goals to come.
Bale at the corner taker. Berbatov battling for the ball. He was wrestled out of it by Gilberto. Fabregas. Flamini. Rosicky. Huddleston again. Yeah, his job is to win the ball, and I'm sure Martin Goller said to him, nothing silly. So he just places it into touch, stops the Arsenal progression. He's run a marathon today.
Well, there's one or two Spurs players who've done likewise. I think they've given their all to the cause. You know, we've heard from the Spurs dressing room that all these players are right behind Martin Jol. Have certainly given a performance to justify that today. They might have been second best in terms of possession, but they really have shown an awful lot of spirit against Arsene Wenger's side.
At least the epitome of relaxation at kick-off time. Not so now. Arsene's looking a little stressed. Kleb. Good ball through. Adebayor takes it brilliant in his stride, but Dawson's wise to it. Bale to Lee. Huddleston. Berbatov spins the defender again. bit of backspin for him, happens nicely, puts it in, tried to catch Arsenal on the back foot. Keane still in there, still battling, still a menace, draws Gilberto. He makes a concise tackle.
Yeah, that was better from Gilberto. Like Kolo Touré 5-10 minutes earlier, needed to be absolutely spot on.
Clattering from Huddleston once more. It's been a feature of the game.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I think that everybody's aware of the passing abilities of Tom Huddleston, short and long, but he's also had an aggressive side to his game today.
Berbatov's onside. If it goes, there'll be a corner. Almunia can't prevent that.
That really is fascinating, isn't it? This football match, it can really go either way. And Spurs have the advantage of the goal. Arsenal really chasing them hard in search of an equalizer, going to leave themselves a little bit vulnerable to the counter-attack.
Spurs need the second. Cabalza up from the back. That would be a way to make your name at Tottenham Hotspur. The 21-year-old signed from Auxerre.
Well, he got there. He probably should have done better, actually. Well, this is the Adebayor chance, and 2 or 3 that he's had this afternoon, that he's either blazed wide or has been kept out by wonderful goalkeeping from Paul Robinson. But Touré at the other end certainly spared the blushes of Manuel Almunia.
Adebayor doesn't run, he glides. Fabregas. Clichy. I was told by the Arsenal press officer it's Rosicki before the game, so that's what we're going with. She did discipline me. Touré. Captain leaves his defensive sentry post. Better get back there quickly. Fabregas, what can he see? Little flick to Van Persie. It's all of the circus tricks from Arsenal, but there's no big top finish.
And I think that was their problem last year. I think they're always trying to score the perfect goal. I think you wanting 1 or 2 players just to put their foot through it from around about 15, 20 yards. I think everything has to be really precise.
And Argon, Tottenham still leading by the Gareth Bale goal. Berbatov, the centre forward, is on the near post. All hands to the pump. Kleb. Sagna. Fabregas tries to be too clever. Huddleston is there. Now Berbatov. He's looking for some exhausted teammates to join him in the attack.
I think Martin Yol might just have to freshen things up at the moment.
Here's Chimbonda, he's very fresh. Away he goes, full of ideas. Puts it across, Huddleston!
I tell you what, you'd have fancied him to score, Rob, as well, with his technique. Oh, just let the ball glide over his right-hand shoulder.
No, it's just a little bit of silliness here. Huddleston squaring up to Almunia, and hopefully the referee will take the sensible option of telling them about their responsibilities in a
it's frustrating.
Top draw Premier League derby.
It's frustration from Huddleston. He doesn't want to give Arsenal the ball back too quickly and let them get on with it. And frustration from Almunia because he wants to get on with it quickly. But let the referee sort it out, and then we'll get back to what is a very, very good game.
Well, he can't lip read, but he's saying something along the lines of dummies back in, boys.
Well, it's something and nothing, isn't it? I mean, you see it up and down the country. Say,
yeah, in 8-year-old games on the school playgrounds, don't you? Another sensible option taken from Mark Clattenburg as well.
He's been outstanding. I think that one of the reasons probably why he was given this game was he managed the Manchester derby extremely well, and he's done likewise here today.
Well, Graham Poll, who's said to be the top English official, had a few problems with this one, and Mark Clattenburg has had his work cut out.
That's a poor challenge. That's
Sanya's in trouble, and that was worthy of a yellow card. He doesn't dispute it.
No, it's deserving a yellow card, and I think that's retribution from the Huddleston-Almunia incident that we've just seen moments earlier. He doesn't go for the ball here, Sanya. He certainly goes to catch Huddleston, and he does that.
Berbatov packs into the defender. The referee says that's exactly what happened, hence no free kick, despite the Tottenham supporters insisting there was. Sanya. Bale trying to wind him up a little bit, wary or knowing that he's just been yellow carded.
Just got a little bit feisty. It looks like he's struggling a little bit, Gareth Bale, with that knock that he took on his ankle. He's certainly warming one or two of their subs up, Spurs, so I wouldn't be surprised that to see Gareth Bale get substituted.
Zitsky. Clichy. Flamini cuts inside. He was moving at breakneck speed and his ankle was clipped by Maubron.
I've seen one or two daft challenges at the moment where the players are getting a wee bit tired. I'm not quite sure.
Free kick taken quickly as the referee wasn't looking. I think Mark Clattenburg was saving a little bit of face then, but he'd stopped play because there was a supporter almost on the field of play who was being led away by club stewards. That's why the free kick wasn't allowed to be taken. Fabregas tees it up. Robinson comes, misses it. Adebayor, 1-1.
Well, we've been praising Paul Robinson during the course of the afternoon, and I've said time and time again, when you're a goalkeeper, it's about decision making. Paul Robinson decides to come and claim this either by catching it or punching it. He doesn't get anywhere near it, and Adebayor gets himself in the perfect spot. It's a wonderful flighted ball in from Fabregas, and Robinson seems to be an awful long way from that. Well, at times you've either got to get your defenders to deal with things, or you just got to come and take and claim everything.
Tottenham unable to cope with a high-flying Emmanuel Adebayor. He scored 3 goals against them last season. He scored what could be the game-turning goal against them this afternoon.
I think they got done on a couple of set pieces at Fulham, didn't they, last week as well? So that will really, really hurt and disappoint the manager. But I have to say, when you look at the amount of possession that Arsenal have enjoyed, I don't think anybody could deny that it was likely to happen.
It's the off-the-ball incident there.
Well, it was...
Kleber's gone down after a collision with Huddleston. The referee saw nothing wrong with it. Arsenal were willed to take advantage. Kleber's still down close to the centre circle. Robinson ignores that. Play continues. We know in the past there's not a friendliness in this neighbourly derby.
Well, it's really sparked off, hasn't it, over the last 10 minutes, and Huddleston's furious with Kleb. He feels that was a little bit of a soft one as he's gone to ground now. He just certainly catches him. I don't think it's intentional, but he certainly catches him. Kleb certainly made the most of it. Thankfully, he's back up on his feet, and he's just got a yellow card now.
And Gary Lewin, the physio, checking that it's Kleb who's in trouble. Must have been offensive words after the event.
Well, he's just pointing to his lips, saying that it was dissent. Just making that be known to the Arsenal bench. Well, it looks as if now Tottenham are going to make a substitution.
Huddleston to Genus.
Just looking at, looks as if Aaron Lennon's going to get warmed up, and I can understand that change because they need something going forward now, Spurs, because otherwise Arsenal are enjoying all the possession, all the momentum.
Genus. Maybe not quite as dramatic as Tottenham's last game when they had the lead against London rivals Fulham and lost it late on. Will the lesson have been learned? Can they motivate themselves for the closing stages of the game? Oh, that's a lovely ball through. Here is a big chance for Keane, and a massive save from Almunia.
Oh, that's a great save. I think that came to him off an Arsenal player. I think that's why the linesman, I think, initially flagged Rob.
Well, he looks for somebody to blame, but Robbie Keane stands alone in not taking the game beyond Arsenal. Well, now Berbatov goes down. The referee on top of the situation says he took a dive.
mind you, as well as Arsenal have enjoyed the possession, you can't help thinking of the chance that Berbatov have one-on-one when Toure made a great challenge.
Here's Leb. Van Persie. Sagna. His teammates were not reading his intentions. Tottenham happy just to take a breather in this thriller-minute ride.
Well, you can't quite believe it's just 1-1. The amount of chances we've seen either end of the field. I think this certainly comes off an Arsenal player. It does. It's Flamini, Robbie Keane, 1v1. But it's a terrific save from the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Gareth Bale is given a break. He took a heavy challenge earlier on in the game, and it is the kind of match where you really can't be carrying anybody. Aaron Lennon hasn't been fit, hasn't played since the end of May. Thrown into the thick of things. Zitsky. Van Persie wants it. Slightly overhits it, bit of a stretch for Leb. Too much of a stretch for Leb.
He's just been on the edge of this game, hasn't he, Robin Van Persie? Certainly not one of his better performances in the Arsenal shirt. It's a difficult ball for Kleb to deal with there.
I know that Bale scored the goal, and he does have a fair free kick, but he's more of a defensive left-sided midfield player. What do you make of the change bringing Lennon on?
I can understand that. I think Spurs need something going forward. I think they need a little bit of a spark. Lennon can certainly give them that if they get the ball out to him.
Huddleston wasn't caught, says Mark Clattenburg, who's had, it seems to be, 1,000 tough decisions to make today. Adebayor looking for his second. He's in the penalty area. They have to be careful not to take him down. Leb. Adebayor. Good turn from Van Persie. Another stop by Robinson.
Well, that was very nearly the Van Persie that we thought we might see a little bit earlier. It was a clever ball. It was played onto the right side, so he allowed the ball to drift across his body. That's another smart save again from Paul Robinson. It might have been slightly at fault for the goal they've conceded, but he really has kept his side in the game.
Genus pleading for support, gets it from Malbranc, who gives it away very cheaply to Clichy. Adebayor peels off the defender, screaming for the ball. Fabregas gets it! They're getting warmer.
Well, they are, and once again, Spurs giving the ball away cheaply. They've got a real problem. It's just not keeping good enough possession, Rob. It's coming straight back at them because Arsenal are playing some very, very good football.
Gilberto scissor tackles Berbatov.
Well, he's not happy. I can only think that he thinks that he was fouled against by Berbatov, but this one Spurs a decent free kick in a good area. They're both tussling for the ball. Well, I don't think that Gilberto can have too many complaints about that.
Scored from a free kick in a slightly closer position in the first half. No Gareth Bale now. He's been taken off. Huddleston teases the ball up. Rositzky the first head. Malbranc. Huddleston has options. Arsenal casually, coolly defend. Adebayor almost catches the ball.
Very fortunate there, because what they did was Kabul had been up the field for that free kick from Huddleston. Took an awful long time to get back. It left Dawson 1v1 with Adebayor. You can see there that there's a big gap appearing. Kabul trying to get back, but he's nowhere near supporting his fellow centre-back Michael Dawson.
Robinson launches it deep into the heart of Arsenal territory. Gilberto tries to walk it out. It's a bit of a mistake. Huddleston. Malbranc. Can Keane make up for that miss? Tries to draw Gilberto. Refuses to give up the chase. Chimbonda. Huddleston. Berbatov on the back of the Arsenal defender. Looked like a foul, and the referee again does well. He just held his whistle, waited to see what developed, and then gave the free kick with the assistance of his linesman.
No, it looks the right decision again. Flamini certainly looked as if he was caught here from Berbatov, who could quite easily have been probably given offside there, but there was the challenge from behind against Flamini. The linesman's flag went up. The referee just waiting to see who had decent possession of the ball, but players just taking on fluids at the moment. It's a very, very warm afternoon. A lot of these players have been away on international duty. They'll be feeling it a little bit at the moment.
Flamini took a heavy blow to the hip. Arsenal play Sevilla in midweek in the Champions League. Tottenham board know that city well. They went there, of course, to seek some groundbreaking ideas. Awesome miscalculation from Kabul. Got away with it. It's a game that you want to see maybe settle with a moment of brilliance rather than a mistake. Dawson, Kabul, Robinson, sun in the eyes of Gilberto. Rosicki. Adebayor. Now Lep. Neatly through to Adebayor. Starts to move through the gears. Van Persie. Clichy kept it in, but actually gave the ball to Tottenham.
He had an awful lot to do. It was very unusual. It was a stray pass from Cesc Fabregas, because normally everything he does is of the highest quality. And once again, Arsenal just enjoying that possession. Spurs working hard to close them down, deny them space, and then try and get something going forward themselves.
Clichy. Rosicki. Van Persie. Flamini. Sagna has to go backwards to go forwards. Touré. Lep. Oh, it's a misplaced pass. Chimbonda sees the halfway line and dashes for it and crosses it. Takes a few players with him and continues. He's shown great character today. Now Lennon. Full of step-overs. Lee. He was going for the glory goal.
Well, there's a little bit of a surprise there, because they really need to keep the ball. Lee just giving it away cheaply, just apologising to one or two Spurs players, but well, he hasn't been as animated as we've seen him in the past, has he, Martin Jol? He's very, very quiet. If anything, the tension seems to be showing on Arsene Wenger more, but he knows that his side have enjoyed the lion's share of possession, had a lot of chances. So he'll be bitterly disappointed if they don't go and pick 3 points up.
Berbatov. Huddleston.
Oh. Real wholehearted player, has a huge effect on everybody else in this Arsenal side.
Every Arsenal player defending the goal. Oh! Off the line! And it needed two defenders on the line to stop it. Berbatov screaming that there must have been a handball. That's the only way he can explain not scoring a goal.
Well,
Did you see a ref?
Well, the key
on the chest.
The key, Rob, is whether this hits Gael Clichy on the chest or the arm. But really, Spurs should be in front. I mean, it's a great corner kick that gets missed at the near post, and that's exactly why you have a player on the post, to deal with situations like that. Berbatov gets a brilliant contact to it, and then when he follows up with a header, he probably should have scored with that as well.
Well, certainly appeared to hit the shoulder of Clichy. Berbatov will swear differently. Puts it in towards Keane. Keane chests it down. It was Lennon's shot that came off the shin guards of his teammate. Now, they may complain a bit being tired, these players, when international duty, but it's a thoroughly entertaining, energy-sapping Premier League game. The product at its best. Lennon. It ebbs and it flows. Who will win? Nobody knows. Berbatov. Huddleston. Berbatov spots Lennon, who'd crept in behind the Arsenal defence. Now Lee. Could be last man standing this. Lee puts it in. Gilberto. He's come on. If anything, in energy levels. Now Van Persie. Adebayor lends him support. Rosicki on this left-hand side. Fabregas joins in. Worth a shot, surely! Oh! Dynamite! Absolute dynamite!
Well, what a season he's having. His general play has been of the highest quality, and now 5 goals from midfield. Well, Arsenal have squandered a number of chances, and it's amazing that the one that they've converted that possibly could win this game has come from all of 25-30 yards. Again, it's a neat build-up, and he lets fly. And as well as Paul Robinson has played this afternoon, he can't get close to it. It's a fabulous strike, and it's befitting of a man, or should I say boy, because probably that's what all he is still, says Fabregas. And could he have made the difference now to this North London derby? 2-1 ahead.
Well, he scored the winning goal against Manchester City with 10 minutes to go. He's scored the second goal for Arsenal against Tottenham with 10 minutes to go. We said we hoped it wouldn't be decided by a mistake. If it remains 2-1, it will be decided by a bullet of brilliance. Lennon. Is there another twist in this amazing tale? Chimbonda overcooks the cross.
Wasn't this how the scoring went in the game last year here at White Hart Lane, where Spurs found themselves 1-0 up and then 2-1 down, and then they equalised?
90th minute. Something special from Genus could settle for history repeating itself at the moment. Malbronk has run himself into the ground.
It'll be interesting now where they all play, whether they go with 4-3-3 or looks as if that's the model that they're going to look to deploy. Well, what we can marvel again at what a wonderful strike that was from Cesc Fabregas. I think Paul Robinson might just have got some fingertips to it, but the power and the pace of the strike was good enough to beat the Spurs number goal.
So a change of tack from Martin Jol. Bent comes on in what appears to be a 3-man attack alongside Keane and Berbatov. Effectively 4 with Lennon on the left wing as well. Genus. So plenty of options ahead of him to aim for. Here is Bent. He's got the energy and the enthusiasm. Can he have an immediate impact in his introduction? Well, he's got a corner.
Well, Gilberto's a lucky boy there because he just stands out. And Kolo Touré stood in, and that allowed Darren Bent to run onside.
Tottenham got the equalising goal in the dying minutes last year. Can they repeat it? Genus, not a good corner.
Well, there's howls of derision, isn't there, from the Spurs fans now. You know, they were celebrating for such a long period in this game, and now they face an uphill task to get back in to this football match.
Kabul. Chinas. Chimbonda. And it's a wasteful flick. Almunia. Been so many chances in this game, it's difficult to recount. Must be a dozen excellent chances divided between the two sides. Fabregas, as you mentioned, just 20 years of age as Fabregas. 5 goals in 6 games this season.
Well, he's added another dimension to his game, hasn't he? I mean, as a youngster, he scored a lot of goals for the Spanish young international sides. Haven't seen as much of that in recent seasons, but...
Well, Ben can't believe it! He was onside, and like Berbatov and Keane before him, he's squandered a massive opportunity.
Well, I think it was a difficult one, but once again, Gilberto has gone to sleep. It's a straight ball, he should be dealing with that. Instead, he just lets the ball drift over his head, and Darren Bent, well, tries a spectacular strike on goal and gets no real connection.
Gleb. Fabregas. Chinas. Bent's away again. He's got to score this time. Oh my goodness gracious me. He must wish that White Hart Lane could eat him up.
That'll haunt him for a long time. It really will. And when he gets himself in exactly the position he was looking for, once again, Gilberto is all over the place. We've got a real problem with him at the moment, but Darren Bent, I mean, it sits up perfectly for him. He has a lot of time, he has a lot of room, 1v1 against the Arsenal goalkeeper, and he gets it absolutely horrendously wrong. Just pulls the neck off it. And you just wonder whether they're going to get as good a chance between now and the end of the game.
Van Persie's given a break. Denilson comes on. Teenage Brazilian. It's the 5th game in a row that he's been introduced. Adebayor cleverly loses the defender. He wants to top that goal of Fabregas, which would take some doing.
Well, they won't mind that, the ball being that end of the field. It just stops Spurs in their tracks. It's probably getting to desperation stakes now, I'd have thought.
5 or so to go. Berbatov. Chinas trying to show his strikers the way.
Well, the one thing that will probably worry Arsenal a little bit is that Darren Bent is just making a little bit of a difference to Spurs going forward now. He's exploiting some space in behind, Gilberto in particular. We're just going to have to sort that out very quickly, Arsenal, if they hang on to this lead.
Denilson. Gleb. Adebayor. Lee guides it out of play.
Well, they're just playing Gleb off the striker at the moment. Denilson has gone over to that right-hand side. It's worrying times for Spurs.
There is a consensus that anything that will keep Martin Jol in the job long-term would be beating Arsenal today. And a bit of a desperate push from Berbatov in the back of Touré. Martin Jol has kept his dignity. I don't know whether he can do that behind closed doors in the change room after his strikers have let him down today. Berbatov, Keane and Bent, all with imminently scoreable chances.
Oh, good chances, Rob, that you'd expect all 3 of them to convert.
Well, the odds were stacked in their favour of scoring on all 3 occasions. Gleb. Adebayor. Maybe the sensible thing is to go to the corner flag and play for time. Is that the Arsenal way? Under 2 minutes remaining. Be a goal kick. Chimbonda. Dawson to Huddleston. Rosicky does enough to unbalance Chimbonda.
It's all getting a little bit desperate, isn't it, now for Spurs? It's hitting long, at times hopeful balls, but Darren Bent will have nightmares if Spurs can't equalise or get anything out of this game after that chance that he had. But as you rightly said, there were other culprits as well. There was a one-on-one Berbatov against Kolo Touré, and no goalkeeper behind the Arsenal defender. There was a chance that Robbie Keane had 1v1 against Almunia, again that went missing.
You need reams of paper to make a match report on this game. Will there be a concluding paragraph? Well, Arsenal had the best record in the Premier League last season for coming from behind in matches to win them. And they're sticking to those statistics. Genus. To the final minute of scheduled time. This is where they equalised last year. Keane goes in. Alumnia has to leave it to his defender, Gilberto. Pleb. Arsenal remain cool and casual in defence. Adebayor. There's Dawson. Kabul. Just sticks a foot in that. Wasn't enough. Didn't go down well with the locals. Rosicky. There's Dawson. Nobody in their right mind is leaving White Hart Lane just yet.
That's interesting. Gina's scored with 4 minutes of injury time last season, and guess what the referee's assistant has just put up in terms of how long's left in this game.
Berbatov gets the head up. Can't direct it anywhere near goal. Well, you have to feel for Martin Jol. He's got that bulldog look at the moment. His team have played with bulldog spirit, but they haven't had the bite. His team are sinking fast. 4 points from a possible 18 this season. If it remains like this, Arsenal will be unbeaten, top of the table. Huddleston. Is there a final sting? Chinas thought he could repeat history then. Rosicky. Taleb with support. Adebayor. Rosicky. It's beautiful football to watch from Arsenal, and today there has been an end product. Chimbonda. Stop pussyfooting around is the word from the Tottenham fans, well, so to speak. Language is a bit stronger. They want their team to thrust forwards. Final moments are ebbing away. Bent's in there. Arsenal remaining strong. Rosicky. Two minutes of the added time has been utilised.
Well, this is just the professional side of Arsenal now, just killing the game off. It's another opportunity to just sort of stop Spurs in their tracks to try and get this equaliser by introducing another player from the bench.
Robinson comes and collects. Misses out midfield. Pumps it high and long. Berbatov takes it well. Genus saw Lennon, but so did the Arsenal defence. This is Lee. It's just a case of pumping it into the penalty area now and hoping for the best. That they do. Berbatov tries to find space, but Flamini stands strong. Now Rosicky. Adebayor has support. Dennelson's on the far side, all alone if they can find him. Yes, they can. This could be the final nail in the coffin. Well, but for the big boot of Robinson, it could have been worse for Martin Jol on his side. Adebayor! Oh. Brilliant! Absolutely brilliant!
Well, that is top draw. It really is. Oh, we talked about the chances that Adebayo's had today, and a mixture of some poor finishing but some brilliant goalkeeping from Paul Robinson. And that really is game, set and match, and how the Arsenal manager can enjoy the moment. It's took a while coming. They've had to work hard, they've had to dig in at times, but have a look at this. Oh, his first touch sets it up nicely for him. He just loops up in the air and he thinks, why not? And he gets reward because that just crashes into the top corner. And as well as Paul Robinson has played today, he still conceded 3 goals, and it could have been a lot more.
It's going to be a long weekend in North London for the Tottenham Hotspur supporters. And what of Martin Jol? Will he see another North London derby?
I'm not sure. You can see he's got that hang-dog look, hasn't he? I think he knows that they may well be running out of patience.
Well, thrilling minute right to the 95th minute, but Arsenal have done it again. Martin Jol has never beaten Arsenal as Tottenham manager. Big question is, will he be around when they face each other again?
How good was that? What a great North London derby that was. It leaves Tottenham just outside the relegation places. In contrast, Arsenal, they're top of the table.